Hello, magical human, and welcome back to Madison Mindset podcast. I hope you are well. I hope you've had an amazing week. I'm recording this on December 1st, but you're going to see this on Friday, the 5th, I believe, or something like that. So I hope the new start of this month is feeling good. I hope you're going into the end of the year with love. The podcast is going to be continuing all the way through your end of year and all the way into your new year. So keep tuned because there's going to be some beautiful practices for the end of the year, some beautiful end of year and new year affirmations and practices. So if you are looking for a really cool way to finish up your year and start really well, stay tuned in this podcast space because you're going to receive some really beautiful practices ready to go to take with you wherever you want to go to do your rituals or practices for the end of the year and the beginning of the year. Amazing. Before we begin, my hair's super oily. I've got oil in it. I have got some beautiful healing hair oil that one of my beautiful friends makes. And it feels really good. After this, I'm going to go and have a sauna and then wash it out. So it's going to look amazing. But something I'm practicing is just not worrying so much about what you look like, what you sound like. You don't have to be perfect. And I'm all for embodying that and just showing you that you can do whatever you want. Okay, so yes, I'm recording a video podcast right now with incredibly oily hair. I've been cleaning and mucking around all day, just stuffing around. But you know what? Life's life. You just got to do the best that you can. And this is something that I've come to over many years of practicing letting go of anxiety and stepping more towards abundance, which is what we are speaking about today. I have started a new coaching program. It is called Anxious to Abundant. And this really hits me in the heart because the whole reason I started self-growth, I started working with people, I started, this podcast, I started doing all these things. The reason I started yoga is because of anxiety and the amount of anxiety I was experiencing on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day basis. It's a lot, to handle. And we are living in a world that promotes anxiety for many different reasons, right? Many different reasons. For one thing, you become very easily sellable when you're incredibly anxious about your body or about your life. You're looking for things to fix you or to fix your life. Very easy, buy products or buy whatever it is. You also become so concerned about yourself that you often will forget about other people in the world or, the situations in the world that we may want to sort out. We become completely incapable of taking one foot in front of the other and actually creating what we want to create or doing what we want to do. We get paralyzed, right? So this creates, I imagine it as like a bunch of chickens running around in a cage, just running around, scratching back and forth, never actually thinking, hey, why don't we do something else? Why don't we think in another way? So that's where anxiety kind of leaves us. And most people experience some kind of anxiety these days, some people worse than others, but we are all very susceptible. I work with, virtually kids now, 12-year-olds that are experiencing crazy levels of anxiety and, young adults, late teens, early 20s when their life is just beginning. It should be such an exciting time, but instead it's just an anxiety provoking time. So we've got to really look at why we're feeling so much anxiety. We've got to look at where did we first start experiencing it? Where is it coming from? What triggers it? And how can we change that mindset? And for me, what I think of now, my massive journey with anxiety, I've dabbled in many different philosophies, many different practices, many different healers, many different trainings, all these kinds of things. And what I have really narrowed down for myself is this idea of taking the anxious thoughts and turning them into abundant ones. Now, this is not something I'm perfect at. My partner and my close friends are infinitely valuable when it comes to helping me with this kind of thing. And the way I lean into them, the way I lean in for support is I'll literally just say, like, I'm having an anxious moment. This is the thought that's in my head. Can you please confirm or deny? I literally just put it out there. Instead of allowing it to circle around in my head, just getting worse and worse, I'll throw it out there. I'll make that thought verbal, especially with the person involved. And that just sorts things out because more often than not, you're wrong. I've never been right about something that I was anxious about. I've never been right about that. It's never been like, oh, thank goodness I thought about that beforehand. We're wrong more often than not. Anxiety is a protective mechanism. It's not a prediction tool. So it's trying to help you, but it's not helpful a lot of the time. It's good to be aware that, oh, something might go wrong, or, keep your eye out for this. Very helpful, yes. But it's not supportive to all the time be so stressed about what have you done? What have you done wrong? What are you got to do right? Who you got to talk to? I used to worry and still do, did I hurt this person? Did I do something wrong? Did I make a mistake? Am I going to be in trouble? Always thinking like that. And it takes quite a lot to go, okay, I'm going to bring this thought to my mum. I'm going to bring this thought to my partner. I'm going to bring this thought to whoever, especially if there's someone involved, and say, hey, I'm thinking this might happen. What do you think? And it's amazing the amount of times that the person I tell is like, you serious? That's what you're worried about? Like, oh, okay, that's crazy. That's very unlikely. It's not going to happen. So I think working on creating a relationship with anxiety that's not giving it that power to be a prediction tool, because it's not a prediction tool. It's trying to keep you safe. It's looking at possible outcomes for sure, but it doesn't predict things very accurately. It predicts worse than the weather app on your phone. Like it predicts really badly. Is it possible? Yes. It's thinking of possible outcomes for sure. There's infinite possibilities. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but the likelihood of those, anxious thoughts actually manifesting are incredibly low, incredibly low. And even then, we know that the more we focus on something, the more we're attracting it. If you're focusing on these anxious thoughts, you're probably going to bring it into your life somehow, some way. So we've got to work at understanding where anxiety comes from, understanding what it's trying to do for you. Don't try and push anxiety away. I said this at a recent anxiety workshop I did in our yoga studio locally. I said, do not try and push it away. There's nothing wrong with anxiety. I tried to push anxiety away for years and it did nothing but get worse. Okay, so it's not about pushing it away. It's about making a better relationship with it, because you need anxiety. We all need anxiety. It's not a new emotion. It's not new. It's always been there. It's just been used for survival. And now we're in a world where every day is a survival battle. I'm late and oh my goodness, the traffic light's red and, these people cut me off at the roundabout and now I got to, oh, I've got that work presentation. I've got that interview. I've got to do everything is high anxiety driving, so we've got to learn how to take all of that and drop it down, relax, because it doesn't need to be that serious. Life's too short to have it be that serious. So when I say anxiety to abundance, what I'm thinking is what anxiety will do is say to you, this could happen. You won't be able to handle it. It's saying this might happen. You're not going to be able to handle it. That's what it's telling you. Okay. What abundance tells you is this could happen. You will be able to handle it. It's a different form of thinking. Same thoughts, different energy behind them. Okay. So when I'm using the word abundance, I'm not talking about money, right? I'm talking about abundance as in infinite possibilities. A range of different things could happen. And no matter what happens, I'm going to be able to handle it. I'm going to make lemonade out of the lemons that I'm given. I'm going to be able to handle whatever it is. I'm just going to do my best. And that's all I can do. And in this moment, there are so many things I could worry about, but instead I choose to smile. Instead, I choose to be happy. That's what abundance says. Okay, so when I have an anxious thought that, let's say it's, if I think that, okay, I'm not going to have a job anymore, I'm not going to have a job, I'm not going to be able to handle it. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to run out of money. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And like, what am I going to do? Instead of thinking that, I switch that over to, I might not have a job anymore, but that opens the doors to so many other jobs and it's going to be really exciting. We'll see where life takes me. It's a completely different energy. It's the same, quote, issue. It's the same thing that we're thinking about, but it's a completely different mind. It's a completely different energy. And we need the energy of abundance to step forward, because anxiety is debilitating. You end up, rocking in a ball in a corner, like not being able to take steps in front of the other. Whereas abundance, says to you, you can, one step in front of the other. Let's do it. You can, I'm strong enough. It's a completely different state of being. And what I work on is stepping from, okay, I'm in this anxious mindset. What is the abundance version of this? And I work my way into that. And I use a variety of different practices. It could be meditation, affirmations, dancing really helps, changing the thought pattern, smiling, softening my shoulders and jaw, that helps as well. Taking a deep breath in and a really long exhale, that helps as well. Just relaxing, taking a moment, and also being logical, being really logical, because anxiety is not often logical. As I said, it's not a prediction tool. So you might think, oh, this horrible thing might happen. What's the chances of that happening? What are the chances? Because it's so, so low. What we worry about most of the time never actually happens. So most of the time, whatever dramatic thing anxiety has brought up, chances are that chance of that happening is very low. So there's not much point focusing on the really low things that could happen. There's no point thinking about that because there's nothing you can do about it, and chances are you don't need to worry about it. But this is what it is with life, right? I mean, you get up every day, you have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea, what's going to happen. Life throws all kinds of different cards at you all day long. You can have a plan for your day, but ultimately it never goes exactly how you would have imagined. And you can't predict how it's going to go. It's so random, for everyone, it's so random. And that's an everybody thing. That's not just a you thing. So we really have to be able to be okay with getting up and going, this is what I'd like to do today. This is how I'd like it to go. Let's do our best and see what happens, because life is just a random thing. We're all here. Things happen. No one really knows why. And we just have to find a way to grow through them and stay with love and peace on the way through. And I think that's ultimately a beautiful thing to learn in this life, is that you get tossed around in so many different directions, so many possibilities, so many different challenges, different, things that we have to deal with. Ultimately, I think you win if you are in love, in joy, in peace. If you're able to sincerely dance in the rain and really make lemonade out of lemons, then you are on the right track with life, because it changes all the time. So that's what anxious to abundant means to me. And what I'm doing now is taking clients one-on-one and hearing about what's anxiety for them, where did it come from, what's the triggers, what can we do about it, how can we befriend anxiety, and then looking at how can we turn this particular moment of anxiety into one of abundance and training that. So we're taking anxiety to abundance in appropriate times. If I walk past a dark alley at night and you get anxious because there might be someone or there might be something there, that's good anxiety. That's really good. That's life-saving anxiety. That's what it's for. It's a survival mechanism, right? So that's a good thing. We're not going to try to get rid of that because that's needed. What we're trying to get rid of is I'm anxious about money, even though there's not much I can do about that right now. Being anxious about money doesn't help. Being abundant about money helps, because then you might be a little bit more creative. Can I save here? Can I do it? Pick up an extra shift here? Can I do this? What can I do to make a little bit more or to save a little bit more? You become a problem solver, and that's much more productive than being stuck in anxiety. So you allow anxiety to be the compass and to kind of point to things that might need your attention, and you use abundance as the way to get there. So you can think of abundance as the ship, anxiety as the compass, and it just helps you understand, okay, that's what we're worried about. Okay, how does abundance feel about that? Let's see how it goes. And they work together. And what I've been able to do is create a much more peaceful life and much more joyful life. Is it perfect? No, but oh my goodness, so much better. And I feel like I've got a tool that can actually help me. So in these coaching sessions, I pull from a variety of different philosophies, a variety of different tools and practices and things that I've come across that really help me, and things that I have worked with myself or with other clients. So if you are experiencing high levels of anxiety, I encourage you to think about what you can do to change that. And if you're struggling with it, I invite you to book a free 30-minute coaching call with me. In the show notes below, you'll find a booking link. You can go through and book a free 30-minute coaching call where I'm going to hear about what's going on for you right now and do my very best to offer you anything in that time that I can that might help. If you would like to hear about Anxious to Abundant, if that's something you're open to and if we align, I don't offer it to everyone. If you are open to working with me and I feel good working with you, then I will offer you a space in the program and you can take it or not. It's completely your call. But this is something that is my gift to the world and that is my gift to you. And if you would like, I know what it's like to deal with anxiety. I'm good friends with anxiety. I've spent a lot of time alongside her. And if you are struggling with it, I would love to be able to help you because that's what I feel is my mission on earth right now, is to help you and anyone else through that. So please, if you would like support, obviously the podcast is a great, easy, free option. You can go book a 30-minute coaching call with me. It's completely free. There is no pressure to join the program. It is an option, and you can also get some more details to see how you feel, or you can join the program, right? There is so much more coming in 2026, but I want you to really embrace stepping into love with yourself. Do not push anxiety away and look to change anxious thoughts into ones that are abundant instead. Thank you so much for being here, magical human. Please share this episode with someone you love. Share it on your Instagram stories and tag me at Madison_mindset. Leave a comment. I would love to see, I'd see all the comments. I love seeing them all. It's so beautiful. Feel free to reach out if you need anything. I appreciate you and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Love.